You've heard of the Titanic, the grand, unsinkable ship that promised luxury and immortality on the seas. But what if I told you that this floating marvel of engineering met its doom in just a few hours? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Enigmatic Past. Today, we'll uncover the 6 mistakes that led to the sinking of the Titanic. If you're eager to find out, make sure to watch this video till the very end. A ship so massive, so perfect, that people believed it was invincible. Yet beneath its shiny surface were hidden mistakes, mistakes so devastating that they turned a dream into a nightmare. What were these mistakes? Could the Titanic have been saved, or was it always destined for disaster? Today we dive deep into the untold secrets of the Titanic's downfall. 6 shocking errors, some human, some in its design, that sealed its fate forever. Think you know the whole story? Think again. Watch till the end to uncover the truth behind history's most infamous tragedy. And hey, if you find it fascinating, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Titanic 1912, the world's largest, most luxurious, and unsinkable ship. A floating palace stretching 882 feet long, with grand staircases, first-class cabins, and even a swimming pool, built for the rich and famous. Its cutting-edge design, with 16 watertight compartments, made everyone believe it could never sink. People dreamed of sailing on it, calling it the ultimate journey of a lifetime. But this marvel of engineering, promised to defy nature itself, met a tragic fate because of one fatal flaw. How could a ship so perfect sink so quickly? Was Titanic's downfall written in its design all along? Let's uncover the truth behind the legend. Captain Edward Smith, a legend of the seas, was on his final voyage aboard the Titanic, a journey meant to crown his career. But beneath the grandeur was immense pressure. Titanic had to reach New York by April 17th, on time for its spectacular debut. To meet the deadline, Captain Smith made a daring choice, pushing the ship to high speed through icy waters. Slowing down in such conditions was standard, but Smith gambled with fate. This decision sealed Titanic's doom. Racing through iceberg-filled waters, the unsinkable ship was left defenseless against a disaster no one saw coming. A single choice turned history's greatest marvel into its greatest tragedy. The Titanic sailed smoothly under a calm, starry night, but one small oversight turned into a fatal mistake. The ship's lookouts, tasked with spotting dangers, had no binoculars. Imagine navigating icy waters at high speed with nothing but the naked eye. Without this crucial tool, they couldn't spot the iceberg in time, leaving the Titanic vulnerable. This tiny oversight could have changed everything. If they'd had binoculars, the iceberg might have been seen earlier, and disaster could have been avoided. But that iceberg saw the Titanic long before the Titanic saw it, sealing the fate of the unsinkable ship. As Titanic sailed on, iceberg warnings came flooding in, but the unsinkable ship ignored them. Nearby ships sent urgent messages. Icebergs ahead, change course. But Titanic's crew, confident in their ship's invincibility, brushed it off. They could have slowed down or stayed alert, but instead they stayed on course. The result? A fatal mistake that would lead Titanic straight into danger. If only they'd taken the warning seriously, this tragedy might have been avoided. But now, an iceberg awaited, ready to seal the fate of the unsinkable ship. Titanic, the unsinkable giant, was flawless, except for one huge mistake: lifeboats. Titanic could hold 2,200 passengers, but only had lifeboats for 1,178, less than half. The designers, confident in the ship's invincibility, thought they'd never need more. But when the iceberg struck, that decision proved fatal. With no way to evacuate everyone, panic set in. Some lifeboats even left half empty because they weren't filled properly. Titanic's unsinkable myth cost lives. 1,500 people couldn't escape because safety wasn't a priority. A small oversight, but one that changed everything. Titanic. Luxurious, advanced, and unsinkable. Everyone believed it was indestructible, from its designers to the crew. But this overconfidence became its downfall. The creators thought nothing could harm Titanic, so they ignored safety precautions. Captain Smith pushed the ship to high speeds, believing its size and technology would protect it. But this overconfidence blinded them to real dangers. When the iceberg struck, Titanic's belief in its invincibility sealed its fate. They thought they could handle anything, but that mindset led to disaster. Had they slowed down or questioned their certainty, the tragedy might have been avoided. Titanic's greatest mistake was believing it could never sink. Titanic's story is known as a tragedy, but there's a hidden factor: decisions made in haste and with poor judgment. These rushed choices sealed the ship's fate. Before Titanic even set sail, critical decisions were rushed. Despite receiving iceberg warnings, Captain Smith ignored them and kept the ship at high speed. This overconfidence in the ship's unsinkable design led them to dismiss real dangers. Safety protocols were also skipped. Lifeboats weren't properly organized, and the evacuation process was chaotic. People even forgot life jackets. In the end, rushed decisions caused confusion when every second counted. If they had slowed down and planned carefully, Titanic might have avoided disaster. This tragedy reminds us, sometimes, a moment of thought can change everything. When Titanic set sail, everything seemed perfect. Calm seas, a flawless journey. But in a split second, everything changed. On the night of April 14th, 1912, Titanic reached the most dangerous point of its journey, an iceberg, waiting to seal its fate. Sailing at full speed, Titanic was too fast to notice the iceberg in time. The warnings had come, but overconfident officers believed they were untouchable. We can avoid it, they thought, but they couldn't. As the iceberg appeared, it was too late. The collision was inevitable, and Titanic's hull was torn open, water flooding in. In those moments, the unsinkable ship began its tragic descent. Every second counted as Titanic's fate sealed with every inch it sank. The crew, once confident, now realized they were powerless. The sea that night seemed to pass its final verdict. Titanic's sinking became the world's greatest tragedy. It wasn't just the ship that went down. It was the belief that anything could be unsinkable. And the sinking of the Titanic wasn't just the end of a ship. It was a devastating tragedy, claiming 1,500 lives. That fateful night, filled with panic and chaos, saw dreams and families lost to the cold, dark waters. It wasn't just a shipwreck. It was humanity's greatest defeat. As Titanic embraced its fate, lifeboats were overcrowded and many lives were lost, simply because there weren't enough to save them. Every second brought new pain, as the fear and confusion left people unsure of who would survive. Titanic wasn't just a ship. It carried stories, dreams, and families. When it sank, so did the hopes of countless individuals. Mothers lost children, wives lost husbands, and many lives were left unfulfilled, their dreams drowned in the icy sea. This tragedy wasn't just a piece of history. It's a reminder of how fragile life is. Titanic's sinking teaches us that sometimes we're unaware of the icebergs ahead. The real question it leaves us with: are we truly understanding the value of our lives? Or are we heading straight toward danger we can't yet see? The Titanic wasn't just a tragedy, it was a lesson. Overconfidence, poor planning, and ignoring risks led to its downfall. Lesson 1. Never underestimate limits. Titanic was called unsinkable, but that belief led to disaster. Lesson 2. Always be prepared. Titanic lacked lifeboats and ignored warnings. Safety should come first. Lesson 3. Avoid rushed decisions. Hasty choices caused chaos. Every decision matters. The Titanic tragedy reminds us that thoughtful choices shape our future and safety. The story of Titanic is not just a tragedy, but also a lesson. Small mistakes can lead to great losses. Every difficulty teaches something. All it takes is careful thinking before taking steps. Give importance to every decision in life and choose your dreams wisely. Titanic reminds us that every step matters, and learning from mistakes and not repeating them is even more crucial. If you like the story, do like and subscribe. Until the next story, take care and stay safe. Thank you.